Guys, as you know, as I pick up these cards, I'll be breaking them down in depth. We already went over DSJ in our last video, and long story short, he's basically Markel Fultz, but an inch shorter with probably better dunk animations. Almost exactly the same. They're both super excellent, and I can't reiterate enough if Fultz not having quick first step is bothering you, don't let it bother you. He has quick first step. It's just not written down. I've done the behind the back a billion times right after characters who had quick first step and it was the same speed. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Bargiani. So I sold my DeAndre Ayton, so I kind of need Bargiani. He's super cheap right now. I picked him up for less than 6K. I don't remember exactly how much less than 6K. So let's look at him. So he has hot spots everywhere, which is great. We know the gist of this center. He's basically a mediocre defender that's not a complete liability, but he's supposed to be a bucket. So that's what we're going to find out now. So hot spots are great. Before I get into his shooting, I do like to look at if he has a good like post launch. Yeah, pretty good post launch. It's definitely usable. Usable post launch, and he seems to have a higher dribble than they would indicate because he doesn't feel like a center with a really low dribble. Solid dunk animation there. All right, and let's see his posts. Some of his post animations. That's nice. So the thing about him over Ayton is he has the better shooting. Ayton has a lovely shot, but if I recall, he does not have range extender. So even though, I don't think range extender is super important on centers, but it is useful. It's good. It's not like necessary the way it is on your wings. But his post fade looks okay. Yeah, his post fade's a little on the slow side. A kind of a long release. Not bad though. Not bad. Definitely got to work with that. It's not like an auto green like some people. Some people you do it and it's just like automatically green. His you gotta have actual skill. Got a little post hop going on. Yeah, I don't know about him in the post fades. I'd have to work with that more. But look at this shot release. Wow. This guy can shoot the rock. He is basically, I think he might be the most perfect budget center to pair with Giannis. In terms of budget guys, this is your guy to pair with Giannis. And honestly, I would have to play the card to see, but a lot of these shooting centers aren't super great on defense, and his defense isn't like totally horrible. He's got a really quick release. His release is really quick for a big guy. See it from the hip. Okay, I see where the shot release is. Yeah, he's definitely got a release that it's a flowy kind of release. It's like really smooth, so you have to look for the right cue. But I'm starting to see it. But yeah, I mean, I can already tell though, because when I hit it, I'm hitting it because I hit it. It's not random. It's not a small window. I can tell that it's not a small window. I was showing you guys with Hakeem. I'm like, no, I know where the cue is. And the window's just small. It was like a lot of full whites. With Bargiani, I can tell the window is pretty big. You just have to, it's just, I want to say it's big, but it's, I don't want to say unforgiving, but like it's quick. You don't have a lot of time to lay on it. And that's the give and the take of like those quicker releases. Is you have to like know the shot. Now I just got the card, so obviously I don't know the shot. But I'm saying once you do know the shot, it's going to be a very good shot. I see right where it is with the hand. Like if you look at his wrist as it flattens out, but when it flattens out, it only flattens out for a second. That's actually a good thing because it's not up there for a long time making you guess which frame it's on, but you just got to get used to it. But yeah, this card is definitely a bucket. He can really shoot it. I would imagine once you get used to the shot, it's an amazing shot. I would definitely run this card, but you got to be in here. You got to be in freestyle a little bit with this card to like learn it. And I would also start looking for other cues too, like his elbow, his feet, just to see. because he's a big guy, you can always see his feet if you're shooting from out here. So if the feet are a good cue, that's a good thing to look at. But yeah, I would definitely say from that standpoint, he meets up to it. This is a very good budget stretch big. He might be the best one. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a better budget stretch big. He's like Bertans, but at the center position. Yeah. The only thing I would say with this card is you got to be really good with his release. There's no guesswork here. Like you have to know his shot. But if you know his shot, I think it goes in all the time. I don't think he's like a full white generator, because like literally every time I get his shot like proper, it either goes in or it's a green, as you guys can see here. Man, he's got a really smooth shot though. Yeah, so I like it. I like it. He dunks very well actually. He's got a bunch of nice dunk animations. And really that's just for, for just general finishing. Obviously that's not his main game. He's there to space the floor for guys like Giannis and Josh Smith and so on, and Westbrook and Ben Simmons and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say I think this card is meta. I do. I think you can run this guy with your slashing characters to spread the floor, and most importantly, you can run him on the pick and fade, and you can do that basically really far out. But just make sure you know that release, because he is a card that if you don't know his release, it's quick, so you can get a lot of bounce backs with this card. But as you can see, when I hit it, it's hitting. Keep in mind, I just got the card, so there's literally no practice going in beforehand, but he can hit. He can hit, and he can hit from real far out, real consistently. So I would say this card's a W. Again, for his role, for his role. He's not a perfect center. He's a stretch center. But he's a stretch center that's not absolutely horrible on defense. He's not just, he's not Kyle Kuzma. That's who's my go-to for. Don't buy that card. He's too bad on defense. Like Kyle Kuzma is too trash on defense for you to like beat a good opponent with. Bargiani, he's fine, especially if you're running him appropriately, which means you're running him with either Giannis or a Ben Simmons or something, which means you have this help defender who's just like out of this world good. Josh Smith. You have this slashing help defender who is there to help him out. So he's not going to get back down so fast that you can't do anything about it. Only thing I would say about him versus Ayton, I still think Ayton's better because Ayton has an easier release for sure. Although easy doesn't matter once you practice, And as you guys can see, a lot of greens are starting to pop up now. So, but Ayton has better post fades and better post animations. Ayton is elite from that standpoint, and Ayton is also an elite shot blocker. Right, like his shot blocking is way up there. It's his normal defense that's not super strong. But so I would still run Ayton over Bargiani. I don't want to buy back Ayton yet. I want to just keep the MT because I think, unless I find him like super cheap, I don't need Ayton to run right now. Even though I very much like DeAndre Ayton, but I could run Bargiani instead and be happy with it. It's just if you plan to post up at all, then pick Ayton. Ayton's going to be better. If you need to shoot from Limitless, pick Bargiani. You plan to post up, pick Ayton. I would definitely say, Bargiani, you're getting a good amount of what you get out of Jokic with Bargiani. Obviously, you're not getting the playmaking. You're not getting the kind of rebound and run the ball up court type stuff. But most of what you're getting out of Jokic is his shooting ability, and Bargiani has that in spades. So that's my overall view of the card. I'll pop into the chat real quick, see what you guys are talking about. But you said you hide Kuzma Lescopes? What's up, Lescopes? Welcome to the chat, man. Yo, he doesn't try to dunk for the free throw line for you. Yo, welcome to the channel. I haven't seen your name before, but very much appreciated you popping in. Sir Jam, what's up? What's up? Oh, you pulled DeMar. Congrats. Did you use that to try to go for Giannis or do something else with the MT? I'm Sir Jam. I'm telling you right now. If you don't have Giannis, get Giannis. Giannis is the best card in the game. Like I think for any if you don't want to play Giannis, then this doesn't apply to you, right? Because some people are just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to play with Giannis. either because you don't like him or you don't like that game plan, and it's fine. Even though Giannis is basically, you can play him as a role player. He's that good that he doesn't even have to be Giannis. But if you are just talking about building a good team, getting Giannis is your #1 priority. Like, he's the best card in the game, and he's probably going to be the best card in the game for a good while. Yeah, that's just case closed. Get the Giannis, man. Get the Giannis. Giannis is ridiculous, man. Like, everything about Giannis is ridiculous. In fact, while we're here, so Bargiani's good, especially for the price. Bargiani's a no-brainer. Pick up Bargiani. Just having him there for depth, I think, and to run with if you're running a lower overall squad, you're basically getting an elite stretch center. Let's look into his stats before we duck out of him. But he's got an 87 3-ball with floor general and dimer and everything. That's going to be basically in the 90s. He's got a 95 mid. Let's not ignore the midi too. Midi's very, very, sometimes that's all your opponent gives you, and cards that hit that shot at very high regularity are actually quite valuable. I think people completely dismiss the mid range the way some people want to do in real life. I wouldn't go that route. So his standing dunks at 85, pretty good. His driving dunks at 75, which is actually not terrible. 75 is the threshold to when they start dunking with regularity. His ball handles are 42. I want to say that feels like a lie, but let's double check it, because the one thing you look for ball handling with your centers on is this right here. So if you have a center in the post, you can do this post hop, right? So you see how he has that little bit of a stumble there? That's not ideal. You want him to swiftly be able to handle the ball there. So you can do the post hop into the shot. That's no problem. But the main thing is, if you do this post hop and people see it, they're going to go towards you, and you want to be able to cross over out of it. He can cross over out of it. A lot of centers, when they have below a 60 ball handle and they try to do this right here, they stumble. So I think his ball handling might be a typo, guys. Like, I'm dead serious. I think his ball handling is another Markelle Fultz quick first step. All right, you heard it here first. You see that? That's the whole point of having a center with high ball handling. Like, most centers don't have enough ball handling to be Jokic, but this is what you're looking for. Can you do that? Because that's gonna work against, you know, humans and the computer. That works all the time. So when people are trying to off-ball you, this is considered an open shot against the AI. And if the AI goes into one of those weird step-up animations, you get that. And he can do that. So I would actually say, treat him like he has a 60 ball control. Do not consider this card as having a 42 ball control. I would say that that's a typo. It's either a typo or a lie of some kind, because most cards that do that with a really low ball control, they stumble. He has a little bit of a stumble if you don't cross over out of it, but if you shoot out of it, he's fine. And if you cross over out of it, he's fine, which is normally not the case. Like, that's really swift. You know, that's really swift. So I'm glad I remembered to look into that, because that's super important for these centers. The only thing about Bargiani is in the post, you gotta, you know, spin out or post drive. You can't. This right here, I don't know if I believe in this yet. I'll take it into practice more to see if I believe in it, but because he does have a high mid range, but I don't know if I believe in this yet. I have to practice with it. And that might be a user thing. It might be, once you get good at that, it might be a tool for you. But cards who are good at that, usually it's after you take like 5 of them, you start to see how easy it is. And I'm not seeing that yet with Bargiani, but it might just be needing more time. And he also does a really, really far post hop, which could be good, could be bad, because he jumps basically almost to the 3-point line, which is a very difficult shot, especially with a 87-3. You know, it's not like he's working with a 99-3. So I don't trust him in the post in terms of, you know, the post fades and all that stuff, the way I would Ayton. But his post runs and his post, you know, his post face up, his going into the face up out of the post, is much stronger than a guy with a 42 ball handle. Much, much stronger. And he has a 95 mid range, so that's a legit form of attack with Bargiani. And that's something that most people aren't expecting. Would he be good in triple threat? No, I wouldn't play a center this slow in triple threat, Rashawn. I wouldn't play a center that slow in triple threat. There's better sources to go. I would say Kenyon Martin would be really good, because Kenyon Martin is going to hit any open shot you give him. He has an excellent release. He has really, really excellent lateral quickness for a power forward, and he has high defensive stats, so he can. See, his perimeter defense is at 85. His lateral quickness is a 79. That's really, really good for a big guy. So he can guard on switches really, really well. He has like an excellent block. So I would run Kenyon Martin over Bargiani, although Kenyon Martin's like 3 times the price of Bargiani. So there's also that. Marcus Morris is your cheaper option, but Marcus Morris is going up in price because a lot of the YouTubers have caught on to Marcus Morris, which, you know, we've been talking about basically from the second we saw him. Marcus Morris is a meta card. So yeah, so let's look at the rest of this guy's stats. I apologize for the tangent, but we had to look at that ball handle. This ball handle, this is a 62, not a 42. Either this is a typo or I don't know. They just did it wrong because he's not behaving like he has a 42. He's not stumbling with the ball off of the important stuff. And I mean, if you're doing crossovers with this character, you're playing him wrong. He's not going to pass for you. His post moves are 88. His post hooks are 87. His post fades are 89. Post up or mismatch, but if you're going up a defensive center, either do the post hop into the face up or just, you know, get out of there. He's nearly an elite rebounder. He has a 90 and a 93 on the boards. So, you know, terrible perimeter defense, but again, he's 7 feet tall. I mean, you're going to get burned on the outside, but that's to be expected. His interior defense is at 87. This guy's pretty stout. Like, this guy's going to rebound for you, and he's going to defend for you. He's not a sieve on defense. He's not a turnstile, you know. I mean, he's a turnstile on the perimeter, but on the interior, he's okay. 66 speed. Again, it's not awful. You know, it's not awful. Could be worse. You guys see him out of the post launch. It looks like he's post launching pretty fast. You know, 54 speed with ball, not great. Could be worse. 75 vertical, pretty good. This guy's solid. You see the hot zones? Let's look at his badges real quick. See his defensive badges first. So he's got gold brick wall, which is great. Super, super good for those pick and pops. Gold box. Chase down, which is great to help make up for him for his lack of perimeter D. As I said to you guys in a previous video, if your character has bad, you know, defensive stance ratings, your lateral quickness, don't bother with it. Don't get burnt. Just follow the character to the basket and work for the chase down. That's how you defend as either a taller guard with bad defense or a big with bad perimeter defense. I should say specifically bad lateral quickness. Perimeter defense in this game is for shot contests. Moving truck, post lockdown, rebound, gold rebound chaser, and he's got gold worm. This guy's a good rebounder. He's like way above average rebounder. He's just shy of elite from rebounding, and he's elite when it comes to shooting. He's got, you know, I'm out here shooting regularly, but this is not incorporating any of these badges, right? This pick and popper, this catch and shoot, this volume shooter, this green machine, you know, corner specialist, deep fades, difficult shots, flexible release, which you need with a character with the shot release this fast. And he's got quick draw and range extender, you know. So yeah, this card is really, really solid. I would say pick him up now while he's this cheap, because I mean sometimes these centers stay cheap, but this is a really good stretch center. Like if you're not running like a high price 200,000 MT center, and you're running Giannis or Ben Simmons, this is a guy you want, you know. He's a way better shooter than Embiid, and he shoots from farther away than Ayton. I think Ayton is a better shooter, but he doesn't have the range, you know. But I think once you get this release, this guy will be a better shooter if you really put in the time to master the release. But this is a skill-based card because he has a very fast release, so you have to know his release because it's very quick. It's a very low margin of error, which is not to be confused with having a small green window. I think the green window is fine. You just don't have a lot of time to hit it. What's up, Jason Battle? Spack in the chat. Got a lot of people in the chat. What's up, y'all? Yeah, so we picked up this card real quick. And yeah, he's a solid card. He's a solid card. Man, I feel like for the culture, I should pick up John Starks and show that to y'all. I'll do that in another video. I don't want the video title to be misleading. But yeah, this Bargiani card, this is a W. I would definitely run this card. The only negative to this card is you gotta spend some time in freestyle to learn the release. It's not as easy as Ayton because it's a fast release and it doesn't stay up at the top very long. So you gotta really find a bunch of cues that you're comfortable with because it's a quick green window. But once you have the green window, he will green for you over and over. I'm very confident in that. Because this has been every shot I miss, I can tell I'm missing the shot. It's not the character missing the shot. And Hakeem Olajuwon was the reverse. I'm like, no, I'm hitting this, and that's why it was like full whites all the time. Like that wasn't even a full white, you know. That was a full white. Full whites with this character are actually kind of rare. But I do like his shot. I don't mind a character that demands a little extra skill. You know what I mean? And I can see that corner specialist really affects this character, because last time I took him to the corner, he had like 7 in a row. Yeah, and the nice thing about these really fast jumpers is sometimes in latency, they're like the perfect jump shot too. So yeah, this Bargiani's a big W, guys. I would definitely put him on my team in a heartbeat. Elite rebounder, solid interior defender, horrible perimeter defender, but excellent, excellent shooter. So yeah, he's a dub. So I'm gonna pick up the John Starks and look at his animations. Tips on finding cues in player shots. I'm actually glad I saw that question before I stopped this video. Okay, so the tips would be, let me get rid of these hot zones. So first, you want to look at the height of the ball, right? So some characters, as soon as the ball reaches like the furthest point, whether it be behind their head, like a Jamal Wilkes, or in front of their face, like James Worthy and Jaren Jackson Jr., that'll be your cue. Now, for some characters, when the ball gets in front of their face or behind their head or above their head, they hold it there for a while, which means it's not a great because if you shoot it when the ball is in that spot, error because they hold it there, that's not their release point. For those characters, you want to look at the bend of their elbow or the top their head when their head stops moving towards its apex. And then other characters, it's really hard to see all of that stuff, and you can look at their feet. Right? So sometimes it's like when the feet come together or when the feet start to sway forward, and that'll be your release. Now, once you see one cue, you can start to associate it with the rest of the animation to give you like an overall view of when the shot is. Yeah, Jim Jackson holds it. Jim Jackson has a pretty slow release. And he has a kind of a, what I call more of a on the way up release. Like, who's like that? Drew Holiday has an on the way up release. You know, you don't want to wait for him to stop. You just kind of, it's almost like a real jump shot. You follow the ball forward. So say I'm looking at Bargiani, right? If I was really training this shot, the first thing I would do is I would take him in the corner. Now, the bad thing about the corner is he has corner specialists, so more shots are gonna go in than normal. But I'll first look at, say, the ball. Okay, so that one was ball almost all the way at the top. So now I'm looking at his wrist. So what I'll do also is I'll pump fake and let the ball go to the side, because this is a set timing, right? This timing is always 100% the same. If they're dribbling, the timing is going to be slightly different depending on the pathing of the ball. So there, I got a really good look at it. And so for him, it's a second after, like not even a second, but like a very, very, very micro, like a millisecond after his hand is back, that's when you release it. So it's almost as his hand starts to go forward. And that's why we got a green there, because I know exactly what I'm looking for. You see? And now we can green repeatedly based off of that knowledge. So now that I know that, I can look at the other cues, because the thing about shooting is you can't see the hand from the same angle from different angles, right? Like when he's on this side, I'm going to have a different shot of his wrist, right? I can't see that wrist back. So I need to know the whole shooting motion, not just that one cue. And that's why for some characters it can take time, because if the shot release is when the ball is above their head, then it's very easy to learn the character shot from all around the perimeter. But if the shot cue that I find first is something like his wrist, it's like, okay, we're kind of building his jumper, right? So I know from here it's his wrist right when it's back. But now, how does that look from this angle, right? Okay, it looks the same from this angle. So I know from this side, I can be money with this character from here on out. Right? Orlando Teal said a good Bargiani card should be blasphemy. He had his moments. He had his moments. Is he in a Toronto Raptors jersey? I didn't even look. Better not be in a Knicks jersey, though. I ain't trying to hear that. No. No, I say. No. So over here, so this is why I don't like the shot meter, because the shot meter makes it hard to see this particular angle. The shot meter actually covers the right hand on some characters. So I suggest when you're practicing, definitely get rid of the shot meter. But for the sake of the stream, I'm leaving it up. So for those of you who just tuned into LeBron Trump, do you have any idea of when they're releasing new tokens awards? No, I do not. I mean, it should have been yesterday, dude. It definitely should have been yesterday. The token reward market being dead this long is a travesty. It's been way too long, especially since the token rewards are basically all outdated. There's almost no good like literally almost no good cards in the entire token market, in the entire token rewards. So now that we have a sense of the timing, you can see I'm getting more greens now because even though I don't have a queue for this side of the court, I have a general approximation of the timing. So what I would do is basically once you get that one queue, you associate it with other things. So you say, okay, so since I know where his wrist is supposed to be right here, what do his feet look like when that's happening? What do his elbows look like when that's happening? And then you try to see that from the other side of the court. You say, okay, I know what it is from the first side, but now from the other side, what's his elbow look like? Where's his hand at the top of the shot release? You know, that was a full white, so I released that properly. So as you guys can see, just even with a couple of minutes, just the length of this video, we've already got a pretty good handle on Bargiani's shot. But his shot is so fast that I do think, you know, you got to break it down a little bit before you see the same results that you see from Ayton. But the benefit to him is he can do it from back here, you know, so that's big bonus. Yeah, I mean, he hitting earlies and lates from here. Yeah, I could see using Bargiani on my main team, to be totally honest with you. I could put him with Giannis. I could use him over Ayton. Because I'm getting range extender. I'm losing out on a bunch of other things in terms of Ayton's just general athleticism and his ability to make the more difficult shots. But I don't need that if I'm using Giannis. I'm fine with making those sacrifices for Bargiani and having the extra 40 some odd KMT, 30 KMT. This card was really, really cheap right now on the market. So yeah, big W, highly recommend it. Next card I'll probably look at is John Starks, and we're actually kind of moving through these cards. I highly doubt you guys will get a Kirilenko out of me, because like I said, I'm not saying that's a bad card, but the guy can't dunk, and I can't even see spending 20K to show you guys. If we pull him in packs, you'll get a Kirilenko gameplay, but the small forward position is too stacked to run Kirilenko. Like, you got Hito, you said Walt to both W's? Yeah, that Walt, I'm definitely very, very interested in that Walt card. Alright guys, so I'll be back with a John Starks gameplay. We'll get a breakdown on John Starks. I wouldn't try Kirilenko on my other account because my other account has Lamar Odom. And that's what I'm saying, like, it's so deep that I literally have 2 accounts and a policy to not use the same cards, and he still doesn't break the depth chart. You know what I mean? I'd definitely 100% rather use Keith Van Horn than Kirilenko. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, I'd rather trade the 86 ball handle for Keith Van Horn's ability to dunk and his ability to, the fact that he's 6'10 and he has, like, range extender, that and then he speed boosts once he gets a little warm. You throw a shoe on him. Yeah, I prefer Keith Van Horn over Kirilenko, at least on paper. Maybe I would play the Kirilenko card as something about his animations would be so amazing that I would change my mind. But I doubt that to be the case. All right, I'll see you guys back here. Well, first let's pick up John Starks from the auctions, and then I'll see you back here with the video. I'll restart the stream. Cause John was also pretty cheap, and I got a little nest egg of MT to play with. So this is how low John is right now, which is great. Wow. This card is... Alright. Alright guys, I'm going to restart the stream. I'll see y'all back here in a minute.